Hello, P6 students. This is Miss Claire, and welcome again to this another video of our Math 6 class. We are now on chapter 13, the coordinate grid. In this video, you will learn three lessons. We have read and plot coordinates, form lines and shapes, and translate to the shapes. Okay, let's start with this picture. Take a look, children. These two children here are in a camping site, and as you can see, they are reading a map. So to read a map, they need to find the coordinates of the different points. We have A, B, and C. So how to read points or the coordinates in a coordinate grid. Okay, let's move on. Let's start with lesson A, read and plot coordinates. So in this lesson, you will learn how to read and plot coordinates in 4 quadrants. So in a coordinate grid, children, it has 4 quadrants, and each quadrant have different signs for the coordinate. So in this problem, Annie is standing at point A on the map. So how are we going to read this point A? That is 2, 3. Okay, so let's move on. So you will learn on how to read coordinates in quadrants. Okay, let's study about the coordinates on a farm. So a farmer used 6 wooden poles and some wires to fence up an area on the farm. Okay, the point 0, 0 on the grid is called the origin. It is the point where the x-axis and the y-axis intersect. When we say x-axis, this one, the horizontal line, and this is the y-axis, the vertical line. So the points here is the point of origin. So the coordinates are 0, 0. So when we read coordinate, children, or the points in the coordinate grid, we will start the x-coordinate and followed by the y-coordinate. This part here is the first quadrant. This one is the second quadrant. Here is the third quadrant, and this part is the fourth quadrant. So the coordinates to the left, as you can see, left side, children, are negative. This one are negative coordinates, and this part here are also negative y coordinates. So remember which part are negative coordinates. Let's move on. Let's find the coordinates of pole A and B. So this one is pole A, this one. It is 2 squares to the right and 3 squares upward. So the coordinates then is 2, 3. Remember, we will read the x-coordinates, means the coordinates located on the x-axis first, followed by the coordinates on the y-axis. How about the point B? This one, what are the coordinates? Okay, for point B or pole B, it is 2 squares to the left, right? And we have 3 squares upward. So the coordinates of pole B are -2 and 3. Okay, and it is located in the second quadrant. How about pole C and pole D? Take a look. Pole C is how many quadrants to the left? Yes. Oh, how many squares? There are 3 squares to the left starting from the origin. And it is also 3 squares downward along the y-axis. The coordinates are start from x, -3, and the y is also -3. So in quadrant or in this third quadrant, children, the coordinates are both negative. Take note. How about pole D? Pole D is 1 square to the right, starting from the point of origin, and 3 squares downward, right? So the coordinates are 1 and -3. So in the fourth quadrant, the coordinates are positive and negative. Next, how about E? This is E, children, this one. Pole E is between or halfway between 1 and 2. So the x-coordinate then is 1.5 or 1 and 1/2 or 3 halves. And the y-coordinate is 0 because it is located in the x or in the y-axis. So the coordinates are 1.50 or 3.5, 0. How about the f? Let's have the f. Let's find the coordinates for f. The f is in the middle of 2 and 3. Therefore, the x-coordinate is 2.5 or 5 halves. And the x and the y-coordinate, yes, it is located in 0 here. So that is 0. The coordinates then of pole F are negative 2.5, 0, or 5 halves, or negative 5 halves, 0. Okay, so children, remember that a coordinate can be negative or positive. We can also use fraction or decimal. Take note on that. So, that's how to find the or read the points in the grid. Okay, coordinates of the rest hut. The farmer built a rest hut at 2, negative 1.75. So when we see 2, so 2 as the x-coordinate here. In the x-axis, 2 is here, right? So to plot that, we count those squares to the right, starting from the origin. That one. And 1.75 squares below this one. Therefore, the hut is around this area. So it has a positive x-coordinate, which is 2, and a negative y-coordinate, which is negative 1.75. So it almost reached 2, but not yet, but not on 2. It is only in negative 1.75. So remember, children, coordinates could be a fraction, could be a decimal, could be a positive, and could be a negative. So what have you noticed on the x and y coordinates in each quadrant? Like this, right? As you observe, coordinates in first quadrant are all positive because it is around here, this area. In the second quadrant, the coordinates are negative x, positive y. In third quadrant, take note, both negative x coordinate and negative y coordinate. And in the fourth quadrant, positive x coordinate and negative y coordinate. So those are the coordinates in each quadrant. Okay, let's continue with lesson B, form lines and shapes. So we are going to form lines and shapes. Take a look here in our coordinate grid. We have points P, Q, and R. If we are going to connect these points, it will form a triangle. Can you name, children, the different coordinates of these points? Remember to name the coordinates. Start with the x-coordinate and followed by the y-coordinate. Now, what if we are going to form a rectangular field using these points? So we will use P and Q. We need to find S and T. Where should we position the points for S and T so we can form the rectangle field? So children, if you know, you can share that during the class. Next, let's find the coordinates of vertices of a parallelogram. Okay, use replace 4 flags at the corners of a field. Here we're going to form parallelogram ABCD. But as you can see, we have missing point C. So we need to find the coordinates of C. So we need to connect first, children, the AB and ED. So after we connect them, we can find the coordinates for C. Here, take a look. See this one. Opposite sides of a parallelogram are parallel and equal, so the same distance. Since AB has 6 units long or 6 squares long, this one. So from D, we also count 6. Therefore, we can find the point C here, and the coordinates are, yes, negative 4, negative 2. So this point is located in quadrant 3. Next, let's study about translating 2D shapes. When we see translating, children, we need to move the object from one position to another in the coordinate grid. Just like this picture, the position of the triangle X, and we will move to Y. How are we going to move that? Okay, take a look here. So there are steps on how to translate shapes in the coordinate grid. Take a look here. Okay, we are going to translate the carpet. So Karim places a triangular carpet in his room at position A. So he will move it to position B, this position, or position C. So to find the best position. As you can see, the carpet from A is translated how many squares when it was moved to B? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Therefore, it was translated 8 squares to the right from position A to B. So each point in the carpet is moved 8 squares to the right. When we say each point, each vertex, this part is the vertex, and this vertex here. So we simply count the number of squares. How about from A to C? How many squares? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Therefore, 7 squares downward position from position A to position C. So that's how to translate shapes, children. So, how can you perform translation to, if we are going to move the carpet from B to A, how are we going to move that? So we move it 8 squares to the left because the distance between them is 8. So from B to A, 8 squares to the left side. Okay, how about this one? Let's move the carpet from position D, this one, to position A. Karim had another carpet at position D. He wants to shift it to position A. So let's find the translation. So the carpet then is translated diagonally, right? From D to A, but it doesn't mean that it will move diagonal position. It will follow upward, then going to the left. So from D, it was translating how many squares. If we choose this point, we count how many squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 means 7 squares up. And from here, going to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Therefore, 8 squares to the left. So this is how we translate this carpet in a diagonal position by going up and going to the left. Okay, P6, that's all for chapter 13, the coordinate grid. I hope that you learned a lot about coordinates. So remember, in a coordinate grid, it has 4 quadrants. In first quadrant, the coordinates are all positive. In second quadrant, the coordinates are negative x, positive y. In the third quadrant, all negative coordinates. And in the fourth quadrant, positive x coordinate and negative y coordinate. So thank you for watching P6. And I hope that you learned a lot in this video. Always remember to stay safe and healthy. God bless everyone and enjoy the rest of the day.